So you're telling me, if I trust Allah, everything will be okay?
No.
Then what's the point?
The point is not that life suddenly becomes easy.
Then what is tawakkul for?
To stop your heart from collapsing every time life gets hard.
But that's what happens though. Something goes wrong and your chest tightens immediately. Your mind starts racing. You start thinking about everything that could go wrong next.
Exactly.
Exactly? That's your answer?
Yes, because that moment right there, that's where the real test begins.
I thought the test was the problem itself.
No. The problem is the outside test. What happens inside you after it, that's the deeper one.
So fear is normal?
Of course it is. Fear itself is not the problem.
Then what is?
When fear becomes your master, when it starts deciding how you think, how you feel, how you move, when it makes you forget Allah.
But that's easier said than done. When money is tight, when you don't know what's coming next, when something you depended on starts shaking, how are you supposed to stay calm?
Who said anything about staying calm?
Wait, what?
Tawakkul is not pretending you feel nothing. It's not acting tough. It's not smiling through pain like nothing happened. Tawakkul is when your heart feels the fear, but still refuses to let go of Allah.
So tawakkul doesn't mean you stop being afraid.
No, it means fear no longer controls your direction,
Then what does?
your trust in Allah.
That sounds nice, but give me something real.
All right, you lose your job.
That's real enough.
One person says, it's over, I'm finished, nothing good is coming after this. Another person says, this hurts, I'm worried, but Allah can open a door I cannot see.
Both are still scared.
Yes,
Both still have bills. Both still have pressure. Both still don't know what's coming next.
yes.
So what's the difference?
One sees the closed door and stops there. The other sees the closed door and remembers the one who opens doors.
That's hard.
It is.
Because when something bad happens, the first thing people think is not always Allah will make a way. Sometimes the first thing that comes is panic.
That's true.
Sometimes it's, why is this happening? Sometimes it's, what am I going to do? Sometimes it's, I can't handle this.
And that's exactly why tawakkul is not just a word. It's training. It's something you build.
Build? How do you build tawakkul?
By knowing Allah. By remembering that the one who fed you before can feed you again. The one who protected you before can protect you again. The one who brought you out of old difficulties can bring you out of new ones too.
But people forget that in the moment.
Because in the moment, they look at the problem more than they look at their Lord.
Say that again.
They look at the problem more than they look at Allah.
That's deep.
Fear magnifies the creation. Tawakkul magnifies the Creator.
So fear says, look how big this is, and tawakkul says,
Look who is in control of it. That's why two people can go through the same exact test, and one of them falls apart while the other remains standing.
same test, different hearts.
Exactly.
But let me ask you something. What if someone says, I trust Allah, but they do nothing?
That's not tawakkul. That's laziness wearing religious language.
So tawakkul is not just waiting.
No. You tie your camel and then trust Allah. You make the effort. You take the means. You apply, you work, you ask, you move, you plan. And while doing all of that, your heart is not attached to the means. It is attached to Allah.
So it's action without worshiping the action.
Yes.
So it's reliance without passivity.
Yes.
Okay, that changes things.
It should.
Because a lot of people hear trust Allah and think it means sit back and wait for life to fix itself.
No. Tawakkul is not sitting still. It is moving while knowing who truly carries you.
Let me make it harder. What about when the fear is not just about money? What about fear of people? Fear of losing respect? Fear of what others think? Fear of taking a step you know is right because you're worried about the consequences?
Then tawakkul matters even more.
Why?
Because fear does not only stop people from surviving, sometimes it stops them from obeying Allah. It stops them from speaking truth. from making tawbah, from changing, from leaving what is wrong, from starting what is right.
Because they're scared of the cost.
Exactly.
And tawakkul?
Tawakkul reminds you that the cost of obedience is never greater than the reward of Allah, and the fear of creation is never worth more than trust in the Creator.
That's still hard to live.
Who said it wasn't?
So who actually lived this? Really lived it?
Bilal,
I knew you were going to say that.
because he's one of the clearest examples. Pinned under the burning sun, a heavy stone on his chest, tortured so he would give up what he believed.
And he kept saying, Ahad, Ahad.
Yes,
But how? How does a person do that while in pain?
because his body was trapped, but his heart was free. The people torturing him could control the moment, but they could not control what his heart knew.
And what did his heart know?
That Allah is one, that Allah sees, that Allah is greater than the pain, greater than the oppressor, greater than the moment itself.
So Tawakkul gave him strength.
More than strength, it gave him steadiness. It gave him a place inside himself that torture could not reach.
That line is heavy.
Because it's true. Tawakkul does not always remove the storm. Sometimes it gives you an anchor inside it.
An anchor.
Yes, and without that anchor, people drift wherever fear pushes them.
So fear says save yourself at any cost, and Tawakkul says,
Hold on to Allah at every cost.
let me ask you something, honestly. Why do we say we trust Allah, but panic so quickly?
Because saying it is easy. Living it is harder. Because many of us trust what we can calculate more than what Allah has promised. We trust the numbers, the visible means, the immediate outcomes. But tawakkul begins where your calculations end.
So when I can't see the outcome,
That is when tawakkul becomes real.
and when I do everything I can but still feel afraid,
Then keep doing what is right and keep turning your heart back to Allah, again and again. That returning itself is part of tawakkul.
so Tawakkul is not one moment,
No, it's a repeated choice.
a choice to trust,
Yes,
even when fear is loud.
especially when fear is loud.
So what's the final difference between fear and Tawakkul?
Fear makes you see the danger and forget Allah. Tawakkul makes you see the danger and remember Him more.
And the one who has Tawakkul still feels fear?
Yes, but fear no longer owns him.
So Tawakkul is not the absence of fear.
No, it is choosing Allah even when fear is still in the room.
Same test,
Same test,
same world,
same world,
different hearts.
different hearts.